I want to be very clear. Our borders are not open.
Our borders are not open.
Johnson says the city of Chicago is almost at capacity with migrants.
This as more and more asylum seekers are making their way to the suburbs and other towns, villages that surround Chicago. As of today, Chicago has received over 26,000 asylum seekers. At least 10 buses of additional migrants were expected to arrive today. And the OEMC says at least 3 buses arrived in the suburbs yesterday. Local leaders are meeting with Mayor Brandon Johnson about what to do as he meets with the mayors of Denver and New York to talk about what happens next. CBS 2's Sabrina Franza has the story.
All of our cities have reached a point where we are either close to capacity or nearly out of room.
Almost at capacity.
Without significant intervention from the federal government, this mission will not be sustained.
What we've seen is a very raggedy form instituted by right-wing extremism.
Right-wing extremism.
Everyone knows that the right-wing extremism in this country has targeted democratically ran cities. And quite frankly, they've been very intentional about going after democratically ran cities that are led by people of color. And their whole motivation is to create disruption and chaos, because that's what that particular party has been about. Right? This is the same political party that did not want to accept that President Obama was actually an American. It's the same Republican right-wing extremism that stormed the Capitol. It's the same right-wing extremism that refuses to accept the results of the Civil War. It's raggedy, it's disrespectful, it's mean-spirited, it's an unclean spirit, quite frankly. And so I got you. I just want to make sure that people understand what we're facing. For the extremism in this country to use people as political tools to settle political scores for something that happened 400 years ago. They're still mad that a black man is free and black man is free in this country.
Chicago was at the forefront, passing what's known as the Welcoming City Ordinance.
With the stroke of a pen, your rights will be at long last fully protected.
Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot and a group of determined aldermen and community groups pushing back with a newly amended Welcoming City Ordinance.
We are a sanctuary city, and now we have a robust protection of undocumented immigrants.
A truly welcoming city means we have to walk the walk and protect everyone's due process rights.
Chicago's Welcoming City Ordinance forbids police from stopping or arresting a person based solely on the suspicion about their immigration status. It blocks police from providing support to federal immigration enforcement operations, and it prevents city agencies from requesting, maintaining, or sharing immigration status.
So often people want to say, why aren't you talking about the border crisis? Or why aren't you talking about it in this way? Well, we're talking about it. They just don't like how we're talking about it. Because it's not a border crisis. It's an imperialism crisis. It's a climate crisis. It's a trade crisis. This is not a surge. These are children. And they are not insurgents. And we are not being invaded. Which, by the way, is a white supremacist idea, philosophy.
The technical support that we receive from the federal government, we appreciate that. Work authorization to put people on a pathway to sustainability, I certainly appreciate that. And without real significant investment from our federal government, it won't just be the city of Chicago that won't be able to maintain this mission. It's the entire country that is now at stake. But in no way what the state of Texas is doing is helping the cause. As much as we recognize that there are challenges, significant challenges at the border, and we do need real substantive immigration reform and policies that allow us to have a structure and a pathway to citizenship. But again, sending buses all over the state of Illinois and all over the country is reckless and quite frankly is dangerous.
But even on top of that, he compared migrants moving from Venezuela and coming across the border to black people moving from, let's say, Texas or Mississippi up to Chicago.
The city of Chicago, a place that birthed the hopes and aspirations through a Jean-Baptiste Point du Sable, that same spirit still lives within the city of Chicago today. The same city that welcomed black families that migrated from the South. You know, my family being a part of that second migration, my father being the eldest and his family, and the settling of Black families in Chicago that was met with resistance. That just like we got through that tumultuous time, we're going to get through this tumultuous time as well.
Despite his early policy victories, Johnson's willingness to coalition build has disappointed some members of the coalition that elected him. They wanted him to cancel the city's controversial ShotSpotter contract, and they're not pleased he's increasing the police budget. It's the reality of governing versus campaigning.
The public good is already stressed. Whether it's our transportation system, our healthcare system, our education system, all of these systems are already stretched to meet the demands of families who have been here. Over the past 7 months, it's been an incredible strain on every aspect of city services.
Borders have been open, and now we have all these people inundated here in Chicago, and these people are living tax-free of taxpayer dollars, and our own citizens are sleeping and don't have anywhere to go. I think it's a damn shame, and the American people and patriots across this country should be outraged, and we should be holding these Democrats accountable for the actions they've taken against this country and our American way of life. We need to get Donald Trump back into office, because under the Trump leadership, Black people flourished. Trump was good for the Black community as we know of it. We didn't have no wars. We wasn't begging nobody for nothing. We was well respected in the world, and now we're the laughing stock of the world. We have no morals and values, and the American people deserve better. We deserve a president like Donald Trump. And by the way, Democrats, as a pastor and a true man of God, it is my job to make sure that we get God-fearing people in office. You will not come to Chicago and you will not celebrate the things that you've done. Spit in the Black community face. We will boycott that convention and let the Democratic Party know no longer are we going to sit back and watch you destroy our communities and destroy this country. God bless America.
We're seeing increased taxes. We're struggling to pay our mortgages. We're struggling to pay our bills. And we have thousands of dollars every month, millions of dollars, $500 million this year to support foreign nationals. And that's coming out of our pocket. It's going to people from another country, from foreign nationals. Those countries have to take care of their people. We just don't have the resources. It's nothing against them, but we just don't have it. We're struggling. This is government oppression at its finest. As a veteran myself, I just talked to a veteran in this tent right here. We're seeing people who have given their all to their country, and we just cast them out by the expressway with the trash. This is unconscionable. And it's unconstitutional. Meanwhile, we have to follow every law. We can't go over the speed limit without getting a ticket sent to our house, but people can violate federal law, and we come in and roll out the welcome mat, give them our home equity, give them our sales taxes. They get the best of our schools. Meanwhile, some like 90% of Black children are not reading, writing, and doing math proficiency, but they do it all under the guise of this fake diversity, equity, and inclusion nonsense. We just need to start voting differently. We need to start pulling ourselves out of these government institutions, starting with the public school system. We need to move on from big government and from the city of Chicago's political machine.
Trump 2024?
Trump 2024.
You're going to bring in a new group of children, a new group of people, take those resources away from Americans to accommodate this new group of people. They pay to be homeless basically now as United States citizens. We're gonna flip Chicago red. The Democratic Party is done in Chicago, and that's a fact. By summer, you think it's a lot of them coming in. You watch the uprising of red in Chicago. And we say, President Trump, come here and we'll walk you all through this city and you don't have to worry about a protest. We send a message to the Democratic Party, Trump 2024, make no mistake about it.